See that over my shoulder? There is an invisible cat behind my shoulder right now. What, you don't believe me? Right there, don't you see it? That is why I'm an atheist. Okay, so all the time I hear people say, well, you can't disprove God. No, I can't. Just like you can't disprove that cat that is behind my shoulder right now. It's not really my job to disprove God. If something's ridiculous, isn't it my job? Isn't it not my job but your job to prove something rather than to disprove something? That's how it goes with everything else. Everything else except God. And let's think about God for a second. Most people think of God as all-knowing, all-powerful, all-wise. Well, if he were really all-wise and all-powerful, why would you pray to him? He already knows that you're going to pray to him. He already has the power to do whatever you're praying for. So really, you praying does absolutely nothing because he knew what you were going to say before you said it because he knows everything. And for whatever reason, he chose to answer or not answer your prayer to begin with because he's all powerful. So praying is basically futile, no matter what religion you subscribe to. And then there's that question of, if there is a God, how do you know what God is the right God? Right now there are quite a few world religions. There's Hinduism, there's Islam, there's Christianity, there's various other smaller religions like the Sikhs, and then there are religions that don't even believe in God, like Buddhism. So how exactly do you know you're right? You don't. You have to take it on faith. And why would a God really put value in faith? Faith is basically saying, you know what? I can't prove it, so I'm just going to take somebody's word for it. Why is that such an admirable trait? I don't understand why that would be an admirable trait to anyone, much less a deity. And then the whole being all-powerful is actually impossible. It's impossible to be all-powerful, and I can logically prove it's impossible, which I will do right now. Okay, suppose you're all-powerful. You want to make a rock that you can't pick up. Think about it. If you make a rock that you can't pick up the rock, so you're not all-powerful. But if you can't make that rock in the first place, you're also not all-powerful because you didn't make the rock. Therefore, it is literally impossible to be all-powerful. And this is one of the attributes of God. And then another argument is, well, there's the Big Bang. What happened before the Big Bang? There's no such thing as before the Big Bang. Sounds weird, I know. And really, it's impossible for the human mind to comprehend it. My mind, your mind. But time itself began with the Big Bang. Because time and space are linked. Time began with the Big Bang. There is no such thing as before the Big Bang, because that word before implies that there's causality, that there's a timeline. No, there isn't. Ask any scientist, they'll tell you the same thing. What's some other things? Oh, even if you choose the right God, how do you know you're following the right rules? In Christianity alone, there are over 33,000 different denominations. Some of these denominations claim, guess what? It's our way or the highway. These other denominations aren't quote unquote real Christians, and, well, fuck them. I don't know. Technically, I'm an agnostic, but a lot of people don't realize you can be both an agnostic and an atheist at the same time. For the reasons I outlined earlier, I'm an atheist. But technically, I can't prove it one way or the other, so I'm also an agnostic. I'm both. So yeah, that's basically my religious view. I'm probably forgetting quite a few things here. This isn't really my view on religion, more is my view on God. Also, another thing that God does is, what we do is, there are things we can't explain. It used to be storms, it used to be plagues, it used to be sickness, it used to be a bad harvest. And what would we say to these things? We would say, God did it. And we still do that. We just do it with more complex questions. Whenever we are confronted with a scientific problem that we can't really wrap our minds around, I'm trying to think of a current example. Probably, let's say dark matter, which we don't know that much about. A lot of people say, proves God exists. We don't know it. Proves God exists. So really, God is a tool to basically crush scientific inquiry. And in fact, we've literally done that. The Inquisition is a perfect example. And the last thing is the fine-tune argument that, we are fine-tuned for life here on Earth. But once again, 99% of the species on Earth have gone extinct. We have natural disasters. We have to worry about astronomical factors. The Earth, at one point, will be engulfed by a supernova from our sun. So we're not exactly fine-tuned for life by any stretch. And another thing is, people bring up odds. Like the odds of us being in this specific place are just billions upon billions to one. Yes, that is true. We are here, but for us to rationally empirically observe that, that has to happen in the first place. It's a hard concept, but think about wrong side. This. What are the odds of this thing being at this thing being at this spot in the grand world, and how big the universe is? This small thing being at this exact spot right now. The odds are so astronomical. They're trillions upon trillion to one of this specific thing being in this specific area right now. But guess what? It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter because it's there. In order for us to observe it. Pretty simple. So yeah, there probably is no God.